I'd like to introduce you to the Micashift technique. By using the Micashift technique, we're going to make this beautiful gold pendant. What's so cool about the Micashift technique is that it's an optical illusion. It looks textured, but it's actually smooth to the touch. Now, to pull off a successful Micashift technique, you're going to want to choose Primo Sculpey clays. Primo Sculpey has a high content of mica flakes in the clay. It's those mica flakes that reflect light and make a pearlescent or even a metallic glow to the clay. I've started with a piece of gold Primo, rolled through the thickest setting on my clay conditioning machine, and I just need enough clay that I can cut this shape out 3 times. I want to section the clay into thirds with my rigid blade and then layer those one on top of the other. Now with my clay roller, I'm going to apply quite a bit of pressure, and here again I've got a cardstock underneath my clay so that I can have control of the movement of my clay and it won't stick to my work surface. And I'm rolling back and forth on the top and the bottom. You really want to be sure and bond those 3 layers together so that you won't have air bubbles later when you pull off that beautiful texture look. Okay, next we want to texture that. And remember, when we textured before, we always spritz the top of the clay with a little bit of water, just as a release agent between the raw clay and the texture sheet. This time I'm going to use only my hand and I'm going to press really hard. This is where the cardstock comes in handy again to keep the clay from sticking to even the craft paper. I'm pushing and pushing and pushing because the deeper you get this texture, the more beautiful it's going to be in the end. Now I'll just peel that away and I've got a nice deep texture. Now at this point, go ahead and shave the raised surface of the texture off of the slab. When we do that, the Micashift will be revealed. So just very slowly and very carefully shave only the raised surface. You can see when I remove the surfaces how lacy it looks because I'm trying really hard not to go any deeper than the raised surface of the clay. Please do go slowly because you can go too far too fast and then you'll just have to start over. Can you see how beautiful that looks? It still appears textured, but it's actually a smooth surface now, and just the mica shifting around on the surface of the clay is what gives you that illusion. Now, well, I like to take it a step further and I use my finger to make sure that I have all the raised surfaces removed. I can feel right in here there's some that's still sticking up, so I just want to shave that again. And then I'll check it again with my finger. It does feel like it's, for the most part, very smooth. I'm going to go ahead and get it even smoother by rolling over the top again with my clay roller. Be gentle, go slow, and this will give it an ultra smooth finish. Now we're ready to cut the shape. I've chosen for my shape just a simple leaf cutter. I'm going to line this up right on top of my clay, push down, twist a bit, make sure you've cut all the way through. Okay, now I just want to very gently press out the clay and have a nice leaf shape. Now you can see from the pendant that I designed that I didn't stick with the leaf shape. I love paisleys and they're very trendy and popular. So I'm going to go ahead and shape this into a paisley just by gently bending it around. Like so. I have one already done here that I really like. And what I've done is laid it on a backing of black Primo. I ran the black Primo through the clay conditioning machine on about a 3 setting. So it's very much thinner in contrast to the thick slab of gold. And I have the gold paisley centered in the middle. I'm just going to take a rope of more gold Primo. And rope making can be a little challenging. It seems like it's so easy, but it does take some practice. So my advice to you is just to take your time, go slowly, and try to work evenly. Okay, and I want this fairly thin. I'm going to start right in here in the corner of my paisley and just run this all the way around. And when I get right in here, I'm going to trim it. Now to trim it, I'm going to use one of my 5-in-1 tool heads, I'm going to use the knife head, which is very sharp. And I want to get just a really neat little cut right in there and pull away the excess. Okay. Now one step further, what I like to do is to add a textured border to the edge of my design. I'm going to change the head here to my 2mm pointer. And these are magnetic, so they just change quickly and easily. And I'm just going to go around the edge of my design with the pointer. And don't be afraid to turn your piece so that it lines up with the direction that your hands work best. I think anytime you can add texture, it's just a quick and easy way to add more detail and more life to a piece. Okay, now we're ready to cut that out, so I'll switch back to my knife head. Now at this point, I want to put it back on my cardstock so that I get a nice glide all the way around. I'm going to start here again in this little corner. This cardstock has kind of a smooth finish that allows the blade to slide right over the top. Whereas my craft paper, I think the blade would cut right in and drag and cut through the craft paper. All right, remove the excess clay. Now on the edge here, I always like to remove that cut look by just finger buffing all around the edge. Okay, and then I'll need a couple holes to insert my rat tail cord once it's baked. So I'm going to change the magnetic head one more time and put the needle tool back in. Now I want to pick a position that's more toward the top of the piece. It might seem natural to put the holes at the extreme edges, but I find that if you do that, it will tend to want to flip when you're wearing it. So I like to put my holes a little bit more toward the third top. Just drill through, turn it over and check the holes from the back, and then drill back through the back as well. Now this piece is ready to bake. Wouldn't it be beautiful to create some matching earrings or even a pin to make a complete set of Micashift jewelry that you could wear or share with a friend for their birthday?